Welcome to Life at Next podcast, Nathan.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Like, what you've been doing today then, like in the styling world?
So I've been on set today shooting half women's wear and for Next brand, and the other half has been Seasons. So like the new website we're launching.
Nice.
Been good.
Excited.
Nice product, exciting.
Yeah.
Good team. So
Yeah.
good.
And how did you get to Next in the first place?
So I was actually working at a different studio before, which I just felt wasn't for me. Didn't feel like the right working environment. And the job for Still Life came up at Next. I did a little bit of research on the company and all this, and I felt like it was the right place to come. So I came, interviewed, and sort of told them that it was almost for like a foot in the door, but I want to be on model team.
Like straight at the interview.
Yeah. I was just I obviously will do, like, I'm here to work for Next. I'll do my job and stuff, but I will be looking to push myself over to model because that's what I was doing before. So it just felt natural, but the job came up and I was like, well, I'm going to apply. And then I talked to him about it in the interview. So, and since I got the job, and then after that, Next were really accommodating. Like, studio was amazing with that sort of transition. So probably did like a couple of months on Still Life, and then slowly was like covering holidays on the model channel and doing bits here and there. But they gave me my first shoot that I sort of did the pre-styling and the styling on set was Fred Perry. So
wicked.
That was really good. 3-day shoot, and they like let me do all the styling, order all the accessories and all this. So, and from there, I think I showed them sort of what I was capable of on model. And then somebody left their team, and that was it. I applied for the job.
It's like,
I think that was like 7 months. So
yeah, you're like, hey,
into Next,
I told you I wanted
it.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Fair play though for backing yourself like that from the off, because I think, you know, some people might not even come into that interview and say that, but and you said something right at the start there, right? You did your research on Next as well to make sure it was right. So that's important to you, is it?
Yeah, 100%. I think company values are massively important to me. They sort of go hand in hand with the job. So like I say, the job I was at before just didn't feel right for me, and it was the same job. So
yeah,
do you know what I mean? So, and it's the people, like working environment, the benefits, everything. Like, working here is so much better for me.
Yeah,
and what I want, and like progression and stuff. I think that was the other thing. There was almost like a ceiling there, whereas I feel like here you've got
lots of avenues.
You can really push your career here. So
yeah,
that's massive to me. So,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And you've gone from Still Life, then you went into model,
and that's where I am still.
And that's where you still are. And then literally you're kind of thinking, it sounds like, because you said progression a couple of times, it sounds like that's, but you do, but which is I think it's great. You know, I think everyone should, like, you know, have that within them for sure. It's like, kind of, where are you kind of like hoping to go, like, you know, whenever in your career?
I'd love to go senior stylist next, and then after that, I'm not sure. I kind of just do. We're actually talking about it on set today about like manifesting stuff and sort of looking to the future. And I was like, I don't really do anything over a year. I can't really think any further than a year, because I just think life changes so fast.
Why is that?
Life changes so fast. I think I was like, I can't do 5. I just don't. I've never done it by like 5 years, or, you know, people have a 5-year, 10-year plan. Never really done that.
Yeah, but I don't think Next does either.
No.
You know, because when you hear from like Simon's CEO, or you hear from like some of the senior managers, I think everyone in the industry thinks we've got this like master plan that we're working towards. But actually, the real thing is we don't, because we have a plan, but we don't go, that's all we're going to do.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah.
Because then, like you're saying, things can change.
Yeah, you got to be flexible. I think, and it's like I take any opportunity I can get, doing new things, meeting new people within the business. Like we have a studio in Prem, so going down there to do shoots, doing location shoots, working with marketing, like yourself, we've done a couple of things together.
Yeah.
So I think they're all important towards that, and it's just about being flexible for whatever door opens, you're sort of ready to take it if it feels right.
Because I guess, like, because, you know, like when you're growing up and you're a kid and teenager and stuff, you do loads, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, did you play sports when you were growing
football,
up?
Yeah, football mainly, yeah.
Did you play? Did you play other stuff as well, or?
Did cross country.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Runner.
Yeah. Is a runner?
Oh, nice.
Helps with the football.
Helps anything that helps with the football. Yeah.
That was it. Was that it? Yeah, I feel like that was it. I hated like rugby and cricket and stuff like that. Yeah, I was just football, and I still am now. So yeah, just football.
Yeah, but I feel like when you're growing up, you try all these different things anyway.
Yeah.
And then you lose that a little bit, don't you?
Yeah.
But like what you're saying is good. Like, I'll give that a little bit of a go, and I'll give. Marketing have said they want some help, so I'll try that.
Yeah.
Because you're finding out actually as much as it's helping them, you're also going, actually, is this a new opportunity over here? Yeah.
It was the same as when I applied for like the Still Life job. It was like, although I said I want to be a model, like if Still Life became something that took me away from model, I would have stayed on Still Life.
Yeah.
So it's sort of just leaving yourself open. It's like having a bit of direction, but allowing different routes to like take you if they come about.
I totally agree. So, I think that's it with the long-term planning. You got to go, right, that is where I'm aiming. And I mean, one thing I've learned definitely over the last year as well, you got to make your own opportunities as well, not just like not just expect them to come, because they probably won't. They're not just going to land there. Like, it's very rare that something just lands in your lap and you go, okay, this is great.
This is it.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
So why styling? Like, you know, why get into that?
So I actually got into styling because of a friend that I used to work with at Urban Outfitters when I was at uni. Yeah. He was always massive into styling. He used to bring me along for like little jobs here and there. So and then we both did a master's together. I think we both had a real passion for fashion.
I didn't mean
that. But yeah, genuinely, that's what it was. And we did a lot of like stuff together, and it sort of just happened from there. But fashion's always been something I've been into. So always, yeah. Well, since I was like dressing myself. So what's that? Maybe like 15, 16. Like being able to buy my own clothes with like money from work and stuff. So always been into fashion and like using fashion as an identity to express what I'm into and things like that. So I don't know the transition into styling. I'm actually not sure how that came about.
Oh, right.
So I used to do like little like bits of visual merchandising like in store when I worked at Top Man and then went to Urban Outfitters. So maybe it's from there, but I think it was just dressing myself and always wanted to dress well. Sort of just transitioned into a job pretty much.
And I think being a stylist, because I guess loads of people will just think, oh yeah, I bet they're like so critical or spend so much time doing it or, you know, all of this. Is that the case? Or how do you see it? Like, because I guess styling could be taken so many different ways. How do you approach it?
As in like what I do now or just
like
in general?
Or style yourself or anything like that. How does that work?
Well, like inspiration wise, I get it from all sorts of different places. Like it used to be music, like music artists and what I used to wear sort of went hand in hand, like brands or how they'd wear stuff.
Okay.
Sort of influenced each other quite a lot when I was younger. And then slowly I've got like more inspiration from elsewhere, like just like street fashion, how other people are wearing it. Things like TikTok have been great because I think TikTok's given just sort of your like everyday person the chance to like express themselves a little bit. I think like when it was just Instagram, it was more like influencers, whereas now I think TikTok sort of encourages more people to sort of talk about how they dress and stuff, and I think that's a lot more engaging.
It's more raw, isn't it?
A bit more raw, yeah, a bit more authentic, and I feel like they're on the same level as me in a sense. Like if I see them as somebody that's the same as me, I find it easier to get influence from them.
And do you approach it where you're looking for inspiration, it's like, I'll only get my inspiration from there, or is it literally like, no?
Literally anywhere.
Anything?
Yeah, I get it from women's wear sometimes as well.
Okay.
Like can be anywhere. Like there's people that I follow on Instagram and stuff that I think dress cool. So like if they're wearing a certain trainer, I'll be like, oh, that'd be the next trendy trainer. So let's have a look at that sort of thing.
And it doesn't matter, yeah. So it's more the product.
Yeah, more the product than the people, or how they're wearing it as well.
How they're wearing
and what they're wearing it with, like influences me a lot as well.
And it's not like, oh, I'm only ever going to look at like Adidas trainers or New Balance trainers. It's like, oh no, if you see something and you're like, I like that.
Yeah, then that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sort
oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I always used to think that, is it that it's almost like, oh, right, that's the trend, therefore I'm only going to stick to that. But you're kind of saying, no, I'll just go for whatever's coming.
Yeah. Whatever I think's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. And is it quite common in the industry as well for a lot of men to do styling, or
it's not?
It's not.
No, I don't think so. No. I think when I started, I think people would say to me about that, like being in like a women's industry sort of thing, and I was like, I enjoy it. What does it matter?
Yeah, exactly.
And working there, I've met like loads of people that are into it. So like loads of men that are into it. Like on the menswear team, like we've got a good relationship with them. So yeah. It's what it is.
Yeah. And talk me through, like, because like you said, there are, you know, we've had a couple of people on this podcast as well that kind of either work in coordination or art direction or whatever. How might your role differ slightly in terms of what you've got to deliver in terms of styling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's almost like two phases of it. So you can do the offset styling, which is like you get delivered the product by production, and then you build the outfits up, take photos of it, and put it on a brief that you then take to set.
Yeah.
So whoever's the stylist on set, like, is more like is the dresser almost in a sense. So when you're on set, you're following the photos and the outfits. So there might be styling notes, like if you've got a shirt under a jumper, like have the shirt out at the bottom, little things like that, or tuck, untuck, socks with shoes, socks without shoes, things like that. So there's two phases, and then you've got like art director who sort of takes responsibility for all parts of the set. If that makes sense.
Lighting,
lighting, making sure that the lighting's right, and then might bring mood boards for poses and stuff, and maybe present to the team before we shoot, just with like what the guidelines are for the shoot. So I think they're the main two differences for those two. And then you have like styling assistants as well, which will help you steam, like prep the clothes, and get them into the outfit before they come to set.
Right, got you.
So there are different like parts of styling.
And you work in the studio, don't you? At Enderby, yeah. And are you working on specific models, or is it all models or all product categories?
Yeah, all models, all product categories. Yes, we work across men's, women's wear, non-clothing, and brands, which is men's and women's as well. Yeah.
So you're covering brands as well.
Brands,
because you said earlier you do February.
Yeah. So we're doing seasons as well. Yeah. Which comes under brands, I guess. Yeah. But it's its own thing.
It's its own thing. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And do you have to adapt? And then I guess the challenge is then adapting to each one of those categories, or not?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, definitely have to adapt. Yeah, I find that like menswear comes naturally to me, whereas like women's wear I have to do a little bit more research. But I enjoy it just as much, really. Like just the challenge, and I think the product's always good, so I enjoy it. But yeah, you do have to like sort of cater to each one, and they've all got like their own customer profiles as well.
And it's thinking about those when you're styling as well.
Yeah. So where does that product fit into that department, and how would they want it shot? How would they want it styled? So, and keeping a good relationship with each department as well is good. Like if you're ever unsure where a product fits, you just like drop a message and just talk through it, sort of thing. Yeah, so it's good.
That must be quite key. That must be quite key, because I guess the product teams, they've spent however long pulling all this product together, and then I guess they're kind of handing it over to you to go, can you bring this to life for me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
With the photography team as well. Exactly. So that relationship must be key.
Yeah, it's really important. Really important.
Yeah,
so, we're always having conversations with the teams and talking about products, so it's good.
Yeah,
keeps it exciting. And like it's always like the product's always changing, trends are always changing, so it's making sure that we're aware of what the trends are as well. So. Yeah.
And how do you, because you said there personally, how do you personally know how to keep up with the trends, and you've got your own inspiration. How do we then apply that for Next to make sure what we're doing for Next and the brands and stuff is keeping with those trends as well? Does the two merge? Or
the two do kind of merge. Yeah, I find that the sort of the product that comes through, they do fit the trends, and then you just slot them into the customer profiles and just go from there, sort of thing. So there'll be like certain product that you notice straight away that fits in and follows trends. So I think you do notice it a lot.
Yeah.
Even when you're on set, like I can see the different customer profiles. Even if I'm not doing the offset styling, I think it's really clear the way it's been styled and presented in the brief is really clear. So yeah.
That's good to know. Yeah. And then and you mentioned there a couple of times customer profiles. Yeah. What's that like? What is it like? What's that a customer profile?
So a customer profile will be sort of it'd be like a mood board with maybe some like research on it and imagery that sort of backs why that product was made in that way. If that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah.
So like knitwear might go into like Scandi. You have like active things like that. So you do notice. You do notice it.
And now, what are you like? How much work you get through in a day? Because I guess some people might just be like, "Oh, so you're just doing like one or two outfits and then job done." Right?
If you're offset, you're probably looking at doing like 2 or 3 rails.
Rails,
yeah. So that'd be like 25 outfits a set. So styling those, packing them up, and getting ready. So we're always like a week ahead.
Okay.
So always like organising. And then sometimes things change as well. So you get priorities come in that you need to change. And then on set you're probably shooting like 25 a day, which is good because I think it's more about the quality of the work than just like shooting as many as you can as fast as you can. Like we really care about making sure that the imagery is the best it can be. and it's making sure that you allocate like enough product, but not so much that you're almost like rushing through it.
Yeah.
I think they allocate the product really well.
Yeah.
Go on.
Sorry, no, you go.
And like we allocate like product on certain rails for like certain models as well that fit certain like customer profiles and fit the product. So we take that into consideration, and like set changes as well. Like sometimes we'll have like can have like 2 set changes a day, depending on what each product department want. So.
And that I guess, and then because you've mentioned like photography, set changes, and that's all part of the studio team that you're in, then, isn't it? Yeah, you're all working together on that.
Yeah.
And that's working in that set, is it?
Yeah,
making sure that that's done.
Yeah. So you kind of set out the week before what the product is, and then you let the shooting assistants know that there's going to be a set change on this day, and you try and get, let's say there's one set change, try and get it done by lunch, so they can change the set while you're on lunch, and then come back. So it's really organised, and it just makes the day run so smooth. So
yeah, well, that's the aim. Yeah. Smooth as possible.
Yeah, exactly,
as possible.
Yeah.
And how long you been here in total now then?
2.5 years, I think.
Oh, okay, nice. And what's been the biggest thing that you've kind of learned since you've come here, do you reckon?
Never really had to think about it like that. There's been a couple of bits. I guess I've learned a lot about myself. I think my confidence has sort of grown a lot over the 2.5 years that I've been here. In what way? I don't know, I think it's because you meet so many people. Like you have people from like models from all over the world coming in to shoot with. So, and you're always talking all day. So it does help to like be able to chat and stuff. I think the job has helped with that massively. And they've given me the confidence to sort of know that I'm doing a good job as well, which always helps. Yeah. So I think confidence has been a good thing. Learned a lot about other people and like differences of opinion. Obviously, with it being like it's quite a subjective job.
Yeah,
fashion's quite subjective, and dressing somebody's quite subjective. And obviously, people get so many different influences from so many different places. So, like one item could be, if you gave it to 4 different stylists, you could dress. Although you're following certain guidelines, that you could still dress it slightly differently. And like imagery and posing and stuff, people have got difference of opinion. So, I think it's just learning to accept those opinions and sort of just almost like move on with it. Yeah. That makes sense. And it's okay to be wrong as well. So I think it's important when it's so subjective. Maybe not wrong, but just accept that maybe somebody's view might be better than yours. It's
100%. I totally agree with that. I think, sometimes you've got to be able to, it's not criticism, and it's not, like you say, it's not wrong, it's not criticism, it's not anything like that. It's just being open, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's, and that as well, though, like being open to criticism as well, because like, not perfect, and not everything that I do is perfect. So it's just understanding that you do need to change bits here and there, and that's fine. It's part of the job. I think if you can't deal with criticism, then I think it's probably not the best job for you. Almost, the best way. Like you do really have to be able to take things on board and move on from it, and not let it affect you. Yeah, so it's only there to make you better, if anything. So
yeah, totally. And I think don't get me wrong, some people can deliver criticism, in a very bad way. Yeah. But if it's delivered in the right way, you've got to be open to it. You really have, because then you'll only learn from it, and you'll only grow from it big time.
I think as well as that, it's offering an alternative as well.
Okay.
And not just even if you give out criticism, it's being able to say, like, why don't we try that instead and see if it works? And
rather than just a solid.
Rather than just like, no, let's not do it that way. And then you're just left like,
well, where do we go?
Where do we go? Yeah, I think it's good to like have that conversation and work together to come up with a solution. Which is what you do. Like at times, there can be like 6-7 people on a set together.
Really?
So, yeah. And you're obviously all working together for the same goal. But it's a lot of like different opinions and stuff, which is fine. It's good and it works. But it's then just learning to work together, which I think like working such a big team like all day is a lot. You're never really just left on your own to just do something on your own. Like you're in a big team of people. So
I guess that's where like you were saying, that confidence comes from, because I can imagine that scenario. Like you've got to be confident to say your opinion. Yeah. Because if you don't, someone else's opinion or idea is going to come out. That would be the end result, won't it?
But it goes back to that thing, like you've got to make your own path almost. Like you've got to be confident enough to say things and be like, oh yeah, and if it goes really well, I'll be like, that was me, that was my idea, that worked because of me. And if it doesn't work, then you've also got to be able to accept it and like keep saying, like move on from it, because you've got so many other things to shoot, and like we're shooting 5 days a week. So if you let one sort of editorial pose like affect you because it didn't work, then like, or one outfit that you've done, then
it's going to affect all your other work.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just about accepting it, come up with an alternative or a solution, and then move on. So.
Sounds like you really enjoy it though.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I love my job. Yeah,
you do.
Yeah, I tell everybody all the time. I tell all my mates, everybody at work, I love my job. They don't believe me for some reason. No, they think I'm just saying it. They think I'm just saying
like
it.
How much they paid you.
No, but I genuinely love my job, and it's one of those things where, like I said to you before, I don't really know exactly the moment that I got into styling or like fashion industry, and when that like sort of switch flicked. But like I do enjoy it. Like, I love it. So.
Yeah.
There's so many opportunities. You meet so many amazing people. Yeah. It's like the creative freedom, but it's like learning to do it within the boundaries of a brand. That's probably another thing that I've learned, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Like styling. I remember like my first couple of weeks on the model team, it was like, just remember that you work for Next. Like you can push it, but it's just got to be, and that's something that I've learned, like styling to a trend, but within the boundaries of like a company.
And also what the customer might want.
And what the brand values are and things like that, and what the customer wants as well, which is super important. So
yeah, because I guess you could put your mate.
That's right. Yeah, but you go from like doing like some editorial stuff at uni and like really pushing it, and then bringing it to a business is a bit different. So you learn them skills, and it's just about refining what you've got, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I think that's something else that I've learned, which has been good.
I think that's across the board though, because I know, like, you know, anything we do, even doing this podcast, you know, we could have like, I don't know, could be like sitting in a place with neon signs everywhere and stuff, and everyone would be like, Matt, what are you doing?
Like a Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, Joe Rogan. Yeah, like big sign
like a massive demon thing in the corner.
Just get some whiskey on the table and stuff. Like everyone would be like, what the hell is this? That would have got shut down straight away. Yeah. But no, it's like building it up, you know. Yeah, it's building it up, and you know, fingers crossed in the future we want to evolve it as well.
Yeah, of course.
So we'll start like this, and then we'll evolve the set and stuff as well. So
that's what we do though as well. It's like you look at the imagery that we had a year ago, and we've progressed so far in just a year that you like excited for what the next year is going to be like. So yeah, there's so much changing, but like I say, it's just about adapting to what the business needs at the end of the day.
And do you take the time as well to actually think about, I know you said, you know, about you planning personally, but planning as a team, do you go, right, this is where we're going to take it next year?
Yeah, we have meetings like that where we do a lot of like mood boards, like trend reports and things like that, where we look at what's upcoming, and then we have them meetings together, talk about it and see what we can implement into like the next imagery, and sort of where that fits with what products, and how we can use it. So, and like footwear we get is ever changing as well, and like little things like that. And we're always changing the wardrobe to what's trending. So it's might not be like a proper meeting, but you're always having those conversations.
Yeah.
Like, let's clear some of this out. We don't need that anymore. This needs to come in. Like, we're always having those conversations.
Because it must be quite different from like you know, because you know, we got people that work in store, then you got people that work in distribution, then around the end of the campus, you've got a lot of people who work desk, but actually you guys are working in like this quite open, you ain't got a desk.
Yeah, no,
like,
I don't sit,
you don't sit down.
Unless I'm doing like the offset stuff, and then you're putting the photos onto like a Google slide. But other than, that's the reason why I like the job though as well.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that was another big thing for me with finding a job that after uni and after I did my masters. I think it was finding something where I wasn't just sat down all day. Like I've always struggled like doing like lectures and like dissertations, just sitting down typing all the time. I think I found that quite difficult. Like it's nice to be up, chatting to people, like having a bit of a laugh. Like, so I think that was massively important to me with finding the right job as well.
Too right. And if someone, you know, someone's thinking about applying for a role in the studio, whether it be styling or assistant stylist or photographer or whatever, or just coming to Next in general, what kind of advice do you reckon you give them? If
they're sort of just started like coming from uni, I would
coming from uni or anywhere.
Portfolio is massive in like creative industry like this. So building up portfolio, even if it's just shooting with mates, my best advice to anybody. I think I did a lecture to like NTU students maybe this time last year. I just said to them, if this is what you want to get into or you're not quite sure, just start testing with like friends. Just go out, just hire a studio space at your uni and just try it, because I think that's where I've sort of found that it's something for me. So I think you just need to test, build a portfolio up, even just message stylists and be like, can I assist you on jobs, especially freelance stylists as well that need assistance. I think that's a really good way to build a portfolio up and build sort of a network is important as well. And then at the studio, if you've got experience already, then apply for a job. Like, why not?
Don't let it stop you.
Don't let it stop you.
Yeah.
And as well, being like a studio assistant is massive. Like they do such an amazing job and have such a good understanding of sets, lighting, like set changes, props that we order as well. So you do build up a knowledge from being a studio assistant. And like I say, they do an amazing job. I think doing that on the side of like having a portfolio and doing test shoots and all of this, I think it's good. Like use your free time wisely as well.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Like even now I like do work at weekends and stuff. With,
do you?
Yeah, like I do some like freelance bits did one with Nottingham Forest Football Club, did their third kit. I've done some like a press shoot with a music artist as well. So it's good. It's just good to bring other bits to work that you've learned from other places as well. I think it's really important. So
it does sound like from speaking to you, even from like, you know, your even from your job interview, that you're just like prepared to take on those opportunities whenever they're called.
Yeah. With both hands as well.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Always take the opportunity. I think if the opportunity presents itself, then you've got to take it. If the door opens, then walk through it, sort of thing.
Yeah, I love it.
As cringy as that sounds.
No. I mean, it might do, but at the same time, like it's the best way to get it across. Like,
but also at the same time, it's got to be right as well. I mean,
what do you mean by that?
It's got to be right. It's got to be right for you as well. Like,
like
I say, back to the thing about Next as a brand and the research I did. It's got to be the right thing for you to like, the right business for you to be a part of and stuff.
Yeah, don't just go.
Don't just do a job because you want to do it. I think do the research and love it. Well, I think that's a great place to end, mate. Yeah, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thank you.